Hello Internet, it's Alex and Louis from Barefaced. We are back.
Hello.
We have new hoodies, new logos. If you're interested, we'll sell some. We haven't worked out how much we should sell them for, but you know, if you want one, let us know.
And
There's time before Christmas to get them to wherever you are. And we have here...
Baritone.
Yes.
Reverend. I don't know what the model is, do you?
I've forgotten. It's the Reverend Baritone. They make two baritones, but they're basically, there's the one with the fixed bridge.
Oh, cool.
Which has got these humbuckers. They're the rail hammer humbuckers, which are really cool because they use pole pieces for wider aperture under the plain strings.
Yeah.
And they use rail pole pieces.
That's smart as hell. I didn't even notice that.
Underneath the wound strings, basically to tighten up the fat strings and fatten up the thin strings.
Yeah, it sounds great.
And it's still got that bit of plastic on.
Yeah.
We should take that off.
It is new.
The bit on top of the pick guard. What is it called? It's gone.
We'll put a link in
It's
the...
gone. But this is the fixed bridge
description.
one because we thought we wanted a sort of chunkier, palm muty sort of monster. I know the one with the tremolo bridge has split coils, like on a precision base,
Yeah.
but they still look like humbuckers.
Yeah.
I think they've got the rail near the bridge and the poles
Cool.
on the other side. So I think they're meant to sound a bit like a P90 variant. Though they... Anyway, this sounds cool.
Yeah.
Descent! Reverend Descent.
Yeah,
Good
yeah,
name for a baritone.
We got there.
Descent RA.
Cool.
And we have here 3 reformers with a V30 in here,
Yep.
a G12K100 in here.
Mm-hmm.
There's only one of these, literally. There may be some others in the world that are unsold and still new. So, yeah, if you want that one, you'll have to buy it before it's gone.
Right.
And a BN12 300S. So,
That's a bass driver?
technically, the BN12 300S is a 300 watt neodymium magnet bass guitar driver, but it's rather nice for heavy guitar sounds.
Right.
So, as this is a baritone guitar, tuned normally B to B, but have we got it in drop A?
I do, yeah.
Yeah. So,
Chunky.
Louis is going to channel his inner... Is it new metal? No, I don't know. New metalers was that down tuning thing, but this has only got 6 strings rather than 7 strings on
Yeah, but we're low.
a pointy thing.
We'll see what
We're
happens.
down. We get chunky. Have a listen.
Yep.
Oh, where's the switchy box? The switchy box is here.
Yeah.
So
We're starting in the V30 basically.
Cool.
Standard. Should still sound pretty good. It's a pretty good all-rounder, right, the V30? Just sounds like a guitar cab, pretty simply.
yeah. And just so you know, we're recording. Voices are going through the mic on the camera, but we've got a separate mic down here running without compression, so you get a bit more honesty in what's happening with the response of the guitar. So that's roughly on axis with all 3 cabs.
Yeah.
These are AVD cabs if you haven't come across those before. I shall wave one at the camera if you're new here. There you go. So that's the AVD at the back, which is a tuned resonator, a Helmholtz resonator, at low frequencies and at higher and mid-range frequencies. It's kind of a slot diffractor. It's kind of like PA speaker ideas, so you get the sound out and round the room so you can hear it better wherever you are, be you the player or the bandmates or audience or sound engineer. It makes everyone's life easier. It means the bleed's more consistent into things. It just works better.
It does
so,
indeed.
let us rock.
Let's.
interesting, wasn't it?
Yeah, not what I expected.
No.
For me, anyway. That sounds the most different. That's the BN12, the bass, quote-unquote bass driver.
That's kind of the cleanest sounding.
Yes, you lose the...
Quieter,
you lose
but
the
that's no surprise. It handles a ton of power, but it's not as sensitive.
In this region.
It's just, but...
Or just generally.
Yeah, so this speaker has a heavier cone. It goes deeper, it handles more power, there's more moving mass. So the electricity, when it goes into it, is not as efficient at turning the movement. It does not as efficient as moving everything and getting the air to move. But you can put loads more electricity. I mean, that'll take 300 watts. Which that's a 60 watt speaker, that's a 100 watt speaker. So this eventually will get louder if you chuck enough power at it. And it will hold it together more, and it won't break up as much, and it's not adding as much harmonic distortion. Okay. So all of these things make it sound quieter, but in reality you're never going to have a problem with loudness. No. With any of these speakers, they all get very loud. Until you get to the point, well, it'll be interesting to hear a BN12 300S on its own in a heavy band and see how well it copes versus, say, a 4x12. Yeah, for sure. It's got a lot of output, especially in the tuned, you know, the AVD, the extra lows. Yeah. That's definitely still got the spikiness. It's the V30. Yeah, the V30 doesn't hide anything, does it? It doesn't, and it's going low enough for me. Like, it's definitely got that. We're in it now, aren't we? Like, that's not missing any low end to me. So you're on the bridge pickup.
Yeah, shall I go a bit sludgier?
And where have you got... So these Reverend baritones, most of the Reverend guitars have got quite unusual controls in that you've got a volume knob. Yeah. A tone knob. Yeah. And a bass contour knob.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yes.
I thought it was tone. No. Okay, I mean, I'm flat on the amp, and then let's put the bass up a tad.
Let's go... Look, we can probably hear that. If we go through the BN12, because that's got the bass bottom end, and you play that...
So is it just moving where the EQ hump is in the lows?
It's actually it's like a high pass filter.
Right. Okay. Cool.
So yeah, if you put in a really bassy sound, it'll sound quite like a bass.
Let's do that again then with this tone. I'll go a bit bassier with it now and see what happens when we switch between, because that's this one now. Yeah. Okay. I'm just interested in how it's going to be with the V30 now. We've got rid of that kind of spikiness, I guess.
So we're on the BN12 now.
Right. Always has a bit of that spike, doesn't it? No matter what you do.
Let's EQ up the top end, and let's see if we can get a bit more aggro out of the BN12.
Okay.
We bring up a bit of...
I mean, there's a tube screamer going on down here, so it's quite
bring up a bit of treble
MIDI
and mids
tube screamery
on the amp.
The tone's on 0 on here, so I'll crank it a bit.
I think put a bit more gain and see where that gets.
Okay. That's that, yeah?
Yeah. Quite violent, can't it? Just flick that over to a V30, it'll probably tear our heads off now.
Alright, prepare. Is that?
Yeah, it's almost like there's a fuzz on that. It's got so much extra top end.
I'm hearing more top end out of that. It's just also got that really mid thing going on now. That I think it's hiding it, but I think it actually has more top than that.
No, I hear the colourful highs
It's got
on
characters.
that, but that's got that kind of almost the fizzy, airy kind of.
It's like you DI a guitar before you put a cab.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
that
yeah.
sound. Like just.
It's interesting. So the G12K 100 is discontinued now, but
I didn't know that.
it's quite. It shouts 80s thrash to me.
Yeah. Okay.
That.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like first two Metallica albums.
Yeah.
Which is quite fun, but it really sounds like an era
Yes. Yeah. Right.
to me. That it's a lot of power handling, but
They're all different
press
beasts.
that
really,
BN12 again because I'm quite enjoying the
with the aggro.
yeah. What's really nice about that is it's very tight.
It is.
It's
yeah.
very together.
Yep.
It's almost like you've taken reverb off it, and do you know what I mean? It's
Right. Less room soundy.
Yeah, it's like there's
It's got more lows, but they're tight.
here's a thing, because yeah, I'm going to try and keep these videos a bit shorter, and because there's an infinite number of stuff we can think about and discover and discuss.
Yeah.
I do think that too many of us choose gear based on what it sounds like when we're the only people playing.
Mm-hmm.
And you go, so playing these three,
Yep.
that one, the V30,
Yep.
I like the sound of more a lot of the time. That one, I know what context I want that in. It's
Sure.
that, like I was saying, that
The 80s.
early 80s thrash and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But that one, I'm like, but then I go, yeah, but if there were two guitarists
Yeah.
in a band and it's playing loud and heavy,
Mm-hmm.
I swear having two of those, or at least one of the guitarists through one of those, I
Yeah.
think it's often a good thing to have guitarists through different speakers because of where they sit in the mix.
100%.
I just think that will sound better because that fills more space. But you don't want to fill space, you want to fill different bits of space.
Depends on your context. If there's a bassist, like, are you
Yeah.
clashing with them? Like,
I mean-
I think it depends, right?
Yeah, I mean,
think you're right.
I'm historically a bassist, but I started playing guitar this year, finally. It finally stopped annoying me. And yeah, so...
Welcome.
And it's really interesting noting how, like with, for instance, AC/DC rock-style guitar,
Yeah.
playing all these open power chords
Yeah.
and hardly muting. I mean, you're muting the strings that aren't playing, but there's basically a lot of that AC/DC style
Yeah.
is letting things ring. And the rhythm comes from how you start the note.
Yeah.
Whilst if you think of like the sort of more metal-y approach in rock guitar,
Right hand.
or indeed
Dampening.
funk guitar, you're stopping notes
All
so
the
much
time.
of the time. All the time, whether it's the right hand or the left hand, you're stopping, you're muting constantly. And like the V30 feels like it wants to be in that world, but it feels like
Yeah.
a BN12 300S wants to work in this world where you stop, start, quick, everything tight into little spaces. Almost
yeah.
more studio sound than live sound.
Is that one? Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting stuff.
It sings.
We have some more speakers, so we'll do another video trying some different combinations.
Yeah, I'm
and I think
intrigued.
we'd also like to try some pairings, so stacking one with
Cool.
another.
Yeah.
Either way up, because that will change how it sounds at the player position, less so at that mic position.
Makes
So
sense
we'll
in this
experiment
world,
with that.
I think.
And also side by side,
Yep.
because that's going to change how it sounds in context. And obviously we do 2x12 cabs both ways round,
Yep.
so we can do different combinations. But I think
It will do the
hearing
same
two reformers side by side is going to get you 95% of the way to hearing what the 2x12 would sound like.
Agreed.
We've got some 2x12s over there, but
It's more effort to change them around.
yeah, we can literally just put different reformers side by side.
Yeah,
and
let's do
get the
that.
sounds.
I think in this context, for me anyway, you'd always have a two driver cab. I don't know why, but maybe that's just
For
a
the baritone?
preconception of mine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything down tuned with this heavy, I just think you are going to have two drivers. So
I think
mix
if
them
you
up.
want the weighty sound, and I think if you want
Yeah.
your speakers to last long term, if you're playing loud.
Oh yeah, I never really
'cause
thought
you-
about that. They will die, won't they?
Yeah, well, they get pushed further, and the surrounds on them.
That's a video in itself.
Got one down here conveniently. Rather dusty. But the surround on a guitar speaker is relatively stiff, yet flimsy, and the cone is rather thin and quite weak, and that's why it makes a lot of tone, because it doesn't move like a piston. It moves a bit like a cymbal or a drum skin. It's got actually, cymbal's a better description than a drum skin, but basically it resonates in different ways as it's driven from the voice coil back down, which is tucked away behind this dust cap. But it does mean when you play a lower frequency, the cone has to move further to create the same output. So every time you drop an octave, the cone is moving not twice as far, but 4 times as far, if my maths is correct.
Oh, okay.
So
That's
if you're
quite
playing in a
substantial.
baritone, which is a
Fourth
fourth lower,
Yeah. Twice, roughly.
the cone is easily moving twice as far to create the same output.
So is that going to half the life? Like, that's my idiot.
Well, if you're pushing things, I think what it means realistically is if you want the same amount of output, you need twice as many speakers.
By 212.
212, yeah.
Oh, a great sales pitch.
There we go. Well, we will see you soon. Tell us what you'd like to hear more of, and we will do it, because we have like infinite ideas for videos, but it'd be nice to be guided into what you're thinking of buying, because then we can kind of hone it in to stuff that's actually useful immediately. Anyway, we've been Alex and Louis. No, it's goodbye from him.
Goodbye from me.
Cheers. See you next time.